Hey everybody, welcome back to another karate video. We're getting into the first week of June, so that means back to some of our basic skills, getting started with introducing that set. So let's get started. First, bow in and get ourselves warmed up and ready to go. Come to attention and bow. Good. All right. I want everybody to jog in place. Go. Hands up. Elbows are tight. Hands are up, level with your eyes or cheekbones. 1-2 punch. And stop. All right. So let's circle our heads around. Out of the way. Arm circles, big ones forward. And back. Cross. Up and down. And twist your body. Circle your hips. Out of the way. Good. And leg circles, outward, inward. Other foot. One more. Good. All right. So let's get into our fundamental skills for this month with our beginner skills first. Going to start off just like we have with most of these in a basic stance, and then we'll build on. Well, today we're going to start learning these in front stance instead of horse stance. Usually that's the default position, that horse stance. Sit on that nice wide stance and practice the techniques. Well, this week we're going to start in front stance, and practice it from there to start. Okay, so we're going to get into our front stance, and for these squares, which are about 2 foot by 2 foot, if I put my toes on one point where they all three converge, and the other one, other foot, the heel goes at that point. This is about right for my front stance. Okay, if I want to figure out where I should go, I can set my feet together, angle them out 45 degrees, heels out, toes out, and then I can kind of adjust from there. Is this my horse stance? Not quite, so I can go just a little bit further, and there, that's my front stance. Okay, so your front stance and your horse stance are going to come from the same spot, just which direction does the body face as you pivot your feet. So here's my front stance. We're going to start with our inside middle block. And as we've talked about before, inside is what's happening between the shoulders. Outside is, well, everything else. So if it's in between the shoulders, it's the inside, and that would be our inside line. This would be the outside line of attack. Okay? Usually we want to move to the outside, or we want to block things off to close off that inside, and then we can attack from that outside. It's usually safer because their other limb can't come across and continue to attack us. So our inside middle block is starting from the inside, and it's moving outward. Okay, so to get this set up, go ahead and extend your rear hand. Okay, this would be like your reverse punch hand out in front, and bring the lead hand. All right, the lead hand is going to come like you're sticking it under the tricep or into the armpit, but not quite just digging it up in there, but across the chest in this position. And then as I bring my lead hand back, my front hand is going to swing up and outward. The elbow is going to be a fist distance away from the body, and the fist is going to be about parallel with the shoulder. Okay, this is a parrying block. Something's coming in linear at straight in towards my chest, for example, and I'm pushing this out of the way with my fist. Okay, also a lot of other applications for this, entering into various grabs, locks, and things like that. But the very basic description is it's a parrying block. Okay, so we'll start from here, we'll block, and then we'll reset. Notice also my hips are turning. They are turning towards the inside, okay, but we call that opening up the hips. We're twisting so that I can open the hips up. It's going to help with kicks. It also winds up so I can fire the punch back if I need to. Okay, so straight hips and a slight twist. We recover, slight twist as we block. So starting right here, ready? And 1, block and recover. 2, block, recover. 3, 4, 5. Now, step to the other side. Switch your feet. Again, be mindful of that distance, front to back, width, side to side on your stance. Lead hand's coming across. Rear hand is out in that reverse punch position. Pulling back, twisting the hips, block, and recover. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Now, stay right where you're at. We're going to get into palm strike, and we're going to go ahead and do 2 palm strikes right now. And we're going to do a lead hand and a reverse hand. Okay? So, not much hip movement here. The reverse, I want to really twist into it to get as much extension and power into that as possible. When we do our palm strike, we're striking with the heel of the palm here, and we keep our fingers up and open. Right? Some schools are going to teach you to close those fingers down to protect the fingers, and that's perfectly fine to do. But a lot of the follow-ons with a good palm strike, especially for self-defense, striking at the nose and mouth area, would be to close those fingers down to scratch or to dig into the eyeballs. And if I'm striking with my fingers compressed up against the face, I have to open that hand up, disengage somewhat to make that happen. With the palm open, I can just simply dig my fingers forward. So that's why we teach that with an open palm, striking forward and slightly upward with the heel of the palm here. Okay, so our reverse hand is going to be out. We'll strike first with the lead hand and then reverse. Ready? And 1, strike 1, 2, 2, strike, strike, holding that front stance the whole time. 3, 4, 5, 6. Switch sides. Reverse hand is out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just to be even, 6. Good. All right, relax the body. Okay, so it's always good to take some of the skills that you know or some of the skills that you're working on, change the stance up, helps you get your muscles challenged in that stance. The low stances, these beginner stances, are all designed to build muscles in the legs. It's not about a practical fighting posture. It's not about a good defensive posture. It's about a muscle building posture. Low stances are for beginners, natural stances advanced, okay? That is the wisdom from the founders. So we'll progress to the natural stances for fighting, but we start with the beginner stances, the low stances for developing muscles. Okay, so we're going to move on to our side kick. And to start this, I'm going to go ahead and start myself all the way sideways. And a couple of notes that I'm going to get in place to start off with is my rear foot. That's my base leg. All my weight's going to go on it. I'm going to rotate on the balls of the feet and get this in position. So if I've got a line right here, I'm going to have the heel on one side of the line and the toes on the other side of the line. I'm going to be set up here to start. Okay? So when I start my kick, my first thing is a lift. So I'm going to lift it into position and get it in a chamber. Okay, so I'm going to lift and I'm chambered with my foot flat facing downward. Okay, we also want to strike with the blade edge of the foot. That's this outside edge of the foot as our goal. So as I lift up, I also want to be extending that blade edge towards the ground. Okay, so I'm already blading my foot on the way up. Now, I extend, I'm going to rotate my hips just a little bit, not too much. Those toes start facing downwards, it starts turning into a back kick kind of motion, and we really want to be striking with the blade edge of the foot as opposed to the heel. So I'm going to lift up, blade edge is down, I extend out, bring it back, and set it right back down. And I'm going to keep that base foot in that same position the whole time. That's the position we want to get into. So if I was doing side kick here, I'd be lifting my knees straight up. I'd be setting in my chamber position, and you see that foot is twisting over. Then I extend to the kick, recover, and then I twist and set down to finish the kick. But we're starting off with the basics. We're going to start off in our proper position. The heel is slightly forward of those toes here, ready to extend the foot out. So we're going to lift, extend the kick, bring it back, and set it down. 5 times on each side, total of 10 reps. You, of course, can hit rewind and repeat that as many times as you want. Hands are up. Looking forward. Ready? And 1, lift, extend, recover, and down. And 2, lift, strike, back, down. 3, up and kick, back, down. 4, lift, kick, and down. Good chamber position at the beginning and end. And 5, chamber, chamber, and down. Good. Now switch sides. Again, that base foot, we're going to rotate on the ball of the foot so the heel is slightly in front of those toes. And I'm ready here. I'm going to lift with the blade edge down. I'm going to extend. I'm going to pull back and set down. Try not to lose my balance when I go too slow talking everybody through it. Okay? Hands are up. Ready? And 1, lift, extend, back, and down. 2, up, out, back, down, 3, 4, good chamber, back to the chamber position and down, 5, good. All right, so that's your side kick. Make sure you're working on that one regularly and repeat that part of the video as much as you need to. Let's get into the intermediate skill set, intermediate advanced skill set. We're going to start with the ridge hand strike, okay? Actually, we'll start with the knife hand block. Keep a consistent block to strike to kick. So the knife hand block, which I could just as easily say knife hand strike, because we will be blocking this, and it works much the same way as if I were striking here at the neck. I'll get a little more extension, but I still want to strike right in here about the sternocleidomastoid muscle, SCM, right here. Now I can strike straight out, chopping right across the throat, but that's often not a target for me, but I can usually come down at that. Now, I also can use that striking down at the tricep muscle as an attack is coming at me. My block becomes a strike in that moment. But right now, we're going to be doing the knife hand block as if it's just a block. So here, we're going to be getting into our back stance for our intermediate and advanced techniques, okay? So let's examine back stance. Like front stance, back stance is found through the horse stance. So if I turn all the way sideways and I rotate, rotate, rotate one more time, and my toes are out towards the front like horse stance, then all I've got to do is I've got to rotate on the ball of the foot, and I'm going to be in back stance, okay? Now, back stance does not have the weight shifted towards the front foot. It has both knees bent, and I'm trying to balance the weight between the feet. You end up getting more of that weight towards the back leg, and that's as it should be, because if you balance towards the center here, you find yourself pushing way too much to the front, okay? So if I'm balancing my weight as equally between the legs as possible, I start to sink down more towards that back leg, okay? So I'll extend my rear hand out like I'm pointing a laser beam down those fingers. My lead hand is up at my ear, and just like the inside middle block, the elbow ends a fist distance away, and the palm of the hand will be even with the shoulder, okay? And for this, I bring my lead hand back, just simply turn it over, open, and let it set, fingers forward, about the solar plexus or so. And then I'll reset and strike. And as I reset, I want to try to twist my hips as much as they go, and then twist again, pulling back to this position. So let's get ourselves set. Ready? And 1. Reset. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Good. Now, switch your legs. If you're new to back stance starts to really strain on one leg. You're going to get tired. It might even start to shake or burn back there. That's okay. The longer you do it, the easier it gets, but you've got to do it again and again and again and again to develop that kind of muscle endurance and that muscle strength. But that's what these low stances are for. Again, lead leg pointing straight out, rear leg pointing perpendicular, and I've got good extension out on those. So my rear hand is extending forward, my lead hand is up to the ear, twist with the hips and striking outward with this block, elbow about a fist distance away from my ribs, palm of the hand is about even with my shoulder, okay? And the free hand is pulling back and resting fingers forward just above the solar plexus, okay? So let's get ourselves set. 5 more on this side. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Hold here, and we're going to extend to a ridge hand strike. Okay? I'm going to relax my legs for just a second. Ridge hand is thumb across, fingers straight, and we're striking with this part between the first knuckle and the wrist. Not on the wrist and not on this knuckle, but right in between here. The thumb tucks away so we're not jamming our thumb, and the hand turns just slightly so we're hitting up here and not down along the thumb. Okay? So it's going to work by punching outward, almost like you're doing an upside down punch. Extend the hand and turn the hand over. This is not a big, from the rear, swing it around in a gigantic circle kind of strike. This is a circular strike, but it comes in very straight, just slightly off to the side, and you're using body motion and body rotation to affect the strike at the end. All right? So we have to penetrate with it, and then we strike with it with the body. Okay? So, get yourselves into back stance. Okay? So we're going to strike here, and then we'll recover, both hands up in front. Ready? And 1. Striking across. 2. Make sure the hips turn and recover the hips. 3. 4. 5. And switch. Good back stance. Coming from ridge hand here, recovering up. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. And relax. So let's get into hook kick. Hook kick and side kick are cousins for much of their application. We will, or much of their execution, excuse me. The application can be vastly different. The execution of the kick is going to start off almost identical. I'm going to rotate that back foot. I'm going to lift up. But here I'm kicking with either the heel or ball of the foot, depending upon which school of thought you're running through. I'm either extending, kicking out ball of the foot for maximum reach, or I'm going to be kicking through with the heel because it's a much harder weapon and I can get a little bit more damage with that. But either one of those are completely valid, and it's just up to you to decide which one you're going to apply. But I'm going to bring it up and I'm going to extend out, but I'm going to extend out slightly to the side of my target, much like the ridge hand does, and then I'm going to pull the foot back towards me, and that's not the re-chamber, that's the execution of the kick. So I bring it up, I extend it out, it's in this motion here that I'm kicking, okay? So my body's going to rotate from here to here through that kick as I'm bringing the heel back towards my body, flexing at the knee here as I rotate. So I'm lifting up, extending out, rotate the body, flex the at the knee, bringing the foot back. Once I have it back here, I can just simply rotate that knee upward, foot down, and then set back down. We're pretty much in position when we end this kick to do that. Okay? So let's get our hands up. Hook kick here. Ready? 1, up, extend, kick, and back down. 2, up, extend, kick. 3, 4, and 5, and switch. Okay, again, base foot is turned. We chamber almost just exactly like the side kick, but I extend to the side, hook the foot back through, and then I'll recover and set back down. Ready? And 1, up, extend, hook it through, recover and down. 3, up, extend and kick, recover and down. 4, up, kick, and down. 5. Good. All right. So that's our hook kick, and that covers all of the fundamental skills that we'll be working on through the month of June. And as always, as we reach the end of this workout, it's only the first half of your drill today. Make sure you're hitting the kata, the fighting sets that you can find on the videos. Okay. So let's do our cool down, stretch it out, and close out this part of today's workout. Okay. So bring your feet in, not exactly tight in, but just a little narrower than shoulder width, and bend and hang it down. Good deep breaths. Let it out. Try to sink down into that stretch with each breath. Don't sink too hard though. Just the stretch. And circle. Bring it back up. Feet out. And again, good circle downward. Hold it at the bottom. And keep it low. Hands to one side. Bring your body over and pull with those hands. Pull into that stretch. You really want to feel it tight, pulling at the back of the leg. And the other side. Again, pull. And down center. Bring it back up. All right, I want to turn a little bit here. And feet are out. About horse stance distance here. Bending, elbows on the inside, pushing outward. Good, rock your legs to one side and then the other. And bend that right leg. Bring everything all the way down to that right side. Keep the left foot as flat as you can on the mat. Keep it low. Switch over to the other side. Good, straighten it up. Hands on the mat. And extend your legs out. And walk it forward. Sink the hips low. Walk it back. Hips behind. Forward again. And back. Good. Have a seat. Legs are wide, reach down center. Reach one side. Reach, side. Good, feet into the middle. Knees down. Grab your toes, pull your nose down. And come on back up. All right, so we hope you enjoyed that tonight. Make sure you catch all the rest of the videos, and make sure you go out and find those kata videos, fighting set videos, so you can practice at home. If you're not sure where to find those, check the website. If you're still having trouble, just message us and we'll help you out, get you the links for what you're looking for. But that's class for tonight. Tune in for the next video as we explore these skills in a little bit more depth next time. When you're ready, attention, now.
Bye-bye.